Douchebags come in all flavors.
It's true, but like,
yeah, the
hippies,
stigmata of being a hippie.
Yeah, what have they
It's like what happened in the 60s revolution. They all got jobs.
Yeah, but now what the fuck has punk rockers done though?
Nothing.
Well, I mean, punk rock gave birth to the whole, do-it-yourself movement. Before punk rock came along, the only way to get a record was to get a manager, get an agent, and, suck as many producer dicks as you could until you were so full of semen it wasn't even funny. You kind of swished when you walked. The world more than anything is the fact that if you have the drive and a 4-track recorder, you can get shit done.
Which is...
You know what I mean?
Which is awesome, and I think, we're kind of lacking that. Like, I know a lot of bands now, they're still kind of caught up in, like, I gotta get a label, even though, like, the cost of equipment to get, like, a real sound. Yeah, it's dirt cheap, and people aren't doing it. Now,
and even the cost of production to do it yourself, like, if you've got 4 guys and you're all working a part-time day job or a full-time day job, you can squirrel away money pretty quick to throw it out yourself and, like, send it to as many different places as you want.
And then, of course, saying all this, we all hop aboard the hypocrisy train and ride ourselves onto a record label in the States.
We didn't try to get onto a record label.
Yeah, so, but how did that come out? Because that seems, like, out of my mind. Did you guys, like, call them up and were...
No,
Jim handled that one.
this label out of States, Livid Records, they're on Twitter or whatever, and I bought some stuff from them, and I was just, like, bitching about how it wasn't here and whatever, and we were talking about some other things. He's like, oh, you're in a band? I'm like, yeah, so I just pointed him to, like, our MySpace or our Bandcamp or whatever. He's like, who's putting this out? I'm like, we are. He's like, no, really, who's putting this out? I'm like, we are. He's like, oh, I want to put it out. I'm like, okay, send us a contract. So then we changed everything in the contract and sent it back.
I asked for Oprah money.
Yeah.
That didn't
Instead, we got a really good royalty rate.
We produced the record ourselves.
Okay.
All 4 of us sat down, picked it out how we wanted the sound to be. We arranged the songs all together. Basically, he's handling mastering and pressing the record, which is, let's face it, that's the biggest cost. I mean, anybody can buy Cubase.
I think it got slightly remastered a little bit. So
yeah. So I mean, this guy's handling, the lifting on that end. We bring the product. He's the one who produces it and sends it out into the world. So
now with the fact that it's being perched on vinyl, like you're coming out with a 7-inch.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of bands are doing that, but we're, like, in the 21st century. Like, what the fuck? Like, isn't it supposed to be digital downloads being beamed into our skulls?
It's a 7-inch, and then you get a digital download code with it.
Yeah.
Like, we looked at it, we're like, well, we could put out a CD, but what do people do? They buy a CD, they put it in their laptop, they rip it to their MP3 player, they throw the CD out. You buy a piece of vinyl, you're buying a piece of art.
We asked him where he to put the catalog number on the album.
And everything else.
And he goes, well, you guys got to put it on there because I gave you guys 100% creative control. And I'm going, well, what catalog number is it?
But so you guys have creative control, which a lot of bands don't when they sign into.
That was, for me, the main thing.
Yeah.
Is we wanted to retain complete ownership, and we wanted to have complete control. We didn't want somebody going, maybe just here if you could. It's like, no, fuck it. I'm not dealing with that, like, weenie whiny whatever. So we like it like this. Here you go. Put it out.
Yeah. So you feel that it was the right move to the label.
What he doesn't want to tell you is it's because we're all not talented enough to do what a producer tells us.
Yeah.
If he was like, we could really use a bass run here, I'd be like, we sure could. We're gonna hire somebody.
This is the first time I've seen you guys. Like, I know I've been trying to come out to your guys' shows for a while, but
you and everyone else on Facebook.
I know. Well, that's okay. Before we start getting into this, Facebook. This is what pisses me off, right? You like, bands put up an event page and they're like, come see the show, and you have like 100 people are like, confirmed, I'm going to be there. But then you're at the show
and there's like 12 people.
There's the percentage factor. There definitely is.
You divide the number of people saying yes by 10, and that's how many people are coming to your show.
Yeah, but what the fuck is going on there?
That's the biggest problem. Is I think people make too many events, and then also another thing that people do with events that I hate is they send a reminder every fucking day. It's I get it. Your show's May 17th. I don't need to have my. So what happens is people get 25 event invitations. They just click attending on all of them to shut people up, and then they ignore them. Whereas if you actually had something pop up in your inbox every once in a while and was like, oh, okay, this is going on. Cool. I'll make a note of that.
Make sure that we get out there, we hit the streets, we poster, we talk to people, we drop stuff off at record stores.
So the social networking, though, it can't just be, it has to be like kind of added on to. Like,
it's not, you can't just rely on social networking. Like, you need to do the other things too. You can't just be like, okay, we're in a band, we're just gonna put a thing on Facebook and whatever, we're just gonna have a Twitter post about it or this or that. It's like, you still have to get out there and be like, no, I want to make sure this is in the paper. I want to make sure that there's a poster on the wall. I want to, you run into your buddy like, hey man, I'm playing a show Friday. Bring your buddies out.
Yeah.
You probably know I told you on Facebook, but whatever.
Well, yeah, and kind of making that human connection. But now, like, if you guys could just give advice for like kind of the younger bands that are starting out, because you guys are on a label, you guys have like a pretty good following around here. But like, how do you? Like, what are the pieces you need to put together? Like,
best way to
get people out to the shows.
The best way to do it as a starting band is go to shows with other bands, network with them, get a gig with them, and then open up for them, and then their friends will be all like, hey, you opened up for my friend's band.
Make good music. If you make good music, people are going to want to hear it. That's what it's about more than anything. People focus on, everything like getting the t-shirts out and fucking glad handing everybody. That's all well and good. If you suck on stage, you're only going to get that opportunity to play in that venue one time, and then they're never going to call you again.
Good music, just look like you care. There's so many bands I've seen where they just like, they fuck up one part and they're just like, oh my god, we suck, we have to keep playing the rest of this song.
Now, do you find like that the Edmonton community is kind of supportive, that there is that kind of community that wants to help support the bands, or is it kind of like a dog-eat-dog world out there?
Dog-eat-dog.
It's very dog-eat-dog. Yeah.
You don't know the right people, you don't do gigs.
We basically created our own scene just by getting a hold of bands that we loved, and we're like, hey, you're friends, we're friends. Our music is not remotely similar, but
it's punk rock.
But it's all punk rock. Let's just play as many possible shows as we can.
We played a metal bar in Calgary once, and
really?
the guy got mad at me because I was wearing my baseball hat backwards. He was like, we got kind of a dress code here. I was like, a dress code in a metal bar?
Since we're kind of on the metal, or the subject of metal, those kids kind of pissed me off, because I used to go out to metal shows because I like to slam dance, right? Which, like you go to
I appreciate you still call it slam dancing.
Well, I don't.
I don't think it has another term, but
I don't know. Whatever, slam dancing, moshing. But and that's like I had this image that that's what metal kids do, but they don't
just
really
stand around
and they're just like
nobody moshes anymore.
What the fuck?
The kids out there watching this, mosh please, and mosh clockwise.
Yeah.
I know. Like, where's the audience? Because, like, you watch, like, that hardcore documentary, and, like, the crowd was fucking crazy, right? And you go to a show and you maybe have
it's not
the
like
one
that.
guy that... Is it just
you really hope Tom comes out.
We've had good shows. We've had good
Tom
shows
and
at
Chris.
Deviate where there's just literally
awesome
it looks like that one of those battle scenes from 300 is going on in front of you while you're playing, and that's just fantastic.
Well, and that must just get your guys' like mojo going.
Oh yeah,
Help you
the more excited the audience is, the more excited we are, right?
You
really live off of that. You breathe it.
You get really good at dodging a microphone, hitting your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, you get really good at it. I get really good
really
at spitting blood.
I would like, I like to drink my whiskey and bump into people. That's really why I like punk music,
Yeah.
But now, when I'm out in a show, and I'm dancing, and then people are getting offended that I'm bumping into them, it's like, what the fuck? Like, rock and roll isn't pretty. It's supposed to be grubby.
I mean, look at us.
You
We're
go
not
to a
pretty.
punk rock bar with a bunch of
Yeah.
punk rock people and listen to punk rock music, and you expect people to just stand around and just be like, not bump into
Yeah, with their Mohican haircuts.
And a lot of people do. It's really funny. They'll wear like leather jackets and they'll have big freaking mohawks, but they'll just like stand there and they'll do the metal thing. And
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I don't like to mosh myself because I just don't like to touch people I don't know. That's my thing. So you know
But
what?
you don't also don't stand right up
That's
front.
my choice. So here's what I'd really like to say more than anything. If you want to mosh, don't be afraid to mosh.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's the
true.
biggest problem. There's kids who want to mosh, but they don't
Well,
know
they
how
don't
to
wanna
get it
break
going.
the ice.
You know what I mean? If you want to stand on the side and watch us, that's fine. But if you want to mosh, please mosh. Please do whatever you want.
We should probably pitch. Talk minus action equals hippies coming out.
June?
To be announced.
June to be announced. Make sure you buy it.
January 11th, 2011.